안녕하세요. 프릴 기브의 콕 맞죠? 2000 비행장 G-510에 오신 것을 환영합니다. 저는 이 비행클럽의 주인인 터케시입니다. 우리 클럽에서는 여러분이 조종을 익히고 개인 조종사 면허를 취득하는 데 필요한 모든 훈련 레슨을 제공합니다. PPL을 따면 비행 시간을 축적할 수 있으며 첫 비행의 사람들을 태움으로써 더 많은 경험을 얻을 수 있습니다. 하지만 그 전에 밖으로 나가 비행기를 타고 항공기와 현지 환경에 익숙해지도록 합시다. 에이프런에 오신 것을 환영합니다. 이곳에서 비행 모험의 모든 것이 시작됩니다. I don't walk around AP2 while I finish the pre-flight preparations. Today will be flying in a Cessna 172 Skyho. It's the main trainer airplane in our flight school. Our Cessna's got a glass cockpit and a 180 horsepower engine. Climbs well and is easy to fly. It's one seat ride. I know the plane is majestic but you should see it in the air. Get inside so we can get started. I'm ready if you are. Swap in and buckle up. Let the good times roll. Welcome aboard. While you settle in, let's go over our flight plan. After taking off, you'll climb to 550m above sea level, and then fly over the airport to enjoy the view. Ready? Why don't you start the engine for us? Perfect. The wind is from 200. 각도 디렉션 EDA 스피드 오브 9노트 So you'll be taking off from runway 28. Okay, let me taxi to the runway. 자, 이제 재미있는 부분이 나옵니다. After releasing the brakes and applying full power, 이일 스피드 업 and take off once we reach 100시간당 킬로미터 에어스피드. 이일 be climbing at 139시간당 킬로미터. Each is the recommended climbing speed for the Cessna Skyho. While climbing, 218로 A left hand traffic pattern and make two turns. Don't worry if it sounds overwhelming. I am here to help. Release the parking brakes. Otherwise you're not going anywhere. Good. Ready for takeoff. Apply full power to get us moving. Keep pushing on the throttle until it's all the way in. You handle the and I'll take care of the pedals, steering the aircraft on the runway during takeoff. We have reached 100시간당 킬로미터. Hold a little bit to lift off. Follow the up too much or you'll lose speed. Keep the nose of the aircraft just above the horizon. We are approaching our first turn. As you'll see, the Cessna 172 requires very little up. Movement to turn. You can start turning left. E are 90 meters above the ground. I will reconnect the flex. You keep climbing. Keep climbing and prepare for the next turn. This is a good climbing angle. Try. Okay, turn left again. We are almost there. Remember, we need to climb to 550 meters. It will keep us 150 meters above the traffic pattern. Let's maintain our climb. I love the weather today. The clouds are beautiful, aren't they? Good. Maintain this speed and attitude for now. Let's maintain our climb. There we are. 550m above sea level and 150m above the traffic pattern. We have safe separation with the other airplanes. Look around. See our airport. Let's fly over it. 멋집니다. I know that you are busy navigating and controlling the plane, but don't forget to enjoy the view. Eldon, I believe you have a talent for piloting. I hope you enjoy the flight. Let's head back to the ground now. I'm glad that we flew together today. This might be the first chapter in your pilot's journey. If you want to embark on it, let's catch up at our headquarters. You seemed comfortable out there. I'm sure you will get your PPL in no time. There's a laptop in the office that shows all the certification information you'll need for your PPL exam. Take a look. Here you can see all the different certifications you can pass throughout your career. Your first step is to work towards your private pilot license. All the training lessons you'll need to pass the PPL exam are available here. Make sure you're comfortable with these before taking the exam.
Welcome to Sedona. I'm Captain Jess Molina, and I'll be your instructor. For this lesson, we're going to start on the ground and focus on some basic concepts. Fundamentals every pilot needs to know before hitting the skies. This is your plane, a classic, the Cessna 172. Take a look around it. In the simulator, anytime you want, you can easily switch to cursor mode. The cursor is handy for interacting with menus and cockpit controls or instruments. As you can see, activating the cursor also displays the toolbar at the top of the screen. The toolbar is a quick access menu that allows you to control various aspects of the simulation. Try to find and open the controls panel. The controls panel is a useful reminder of the button layout for the devices you're currently using. Now try to find and open the camera panel in the toolbar. The camera panel allows you to access the various views and camera modes of the simulation. Go ahead and close all the panels for now. In front of you is the yoke, the primary means of controlling the aircraft. In the simulation, you will be controlling the aircraft with your peripherals of choice. So, let's hide the yoke for now. Alright, as we've seen, when you want to look around you, it's easy to rotate the camera. but you can also move it freely in the cockpit to get a better view of anything you want to see, even through a window to look outside. Now, reset the camera to its original position. All right, that covers all the main camera functions available in the simulation. Try to familiarize yourself with them a bit more, then reset the camera to its original position whenever you're done. Great. Let's get you familiar with the aircraft, a Cessna 172, and a few commands to navigate it through the skies. In front of you is the yoke. The yoke is like a steering wheel, more or less. Turn it left or right to control the ailerons and bank the aircraft into turns. Look at the trailing edge of the wings while turning the yoke to see the effect on the ailerons. Okay. Now, the difference between the yoke and a steering wheel is you can pull or push on the yoke. This controls the elevator at the back of the aircraft to make it climb or descend. Look at the horizontal stabilizer while you pull on the yoke. You can see how it affects the elevator. Nice. Down at your feet are the rudder pedals. They steer the aircraft when you're on the ground. The upper part of the pedals also control your brakes. In the air, they control the rudder at the end of the vertical stabilizer to yaw the aircraft. This is mostly for small corrections, for coordinating turns or compensating for a plane's tendency to pull left during takeoffs and climbs. Look at the vertical tail while operating the pedals to see the effect on the rudder. Great. Last but not least, the throttle is located near the center of the cockpit. Pushing forward will increase power, pulling back will decrease power. First, look at the throttle and select it. Keep it selected and push it forward to increase power. Power is increased. Now pull it back to decrease power. Power is decreased. Now we'll do the same without focusing on it. Deselect the throttle. Look away from the throttle and increase power. Ah. RPM. PFD. 이번 시간에는 세스너 172 항공기를 살펴보며 하늘에서 길을 찾는 몇 가지 조작계를 알아봅시다. 눈앞에 조종관이 보일 겁니다. 조종관은 자동차의 핸들처럼 생각하십시오. 좌우로 조정해 에일러론을 제어하고 경사각을 변경할 수 있죠. 에일러론에 어떤 영향을 미치는지 확인하려면 조종관을 돌리며 뒷전 날개를 확인해 보십시오. 괜찮군요. 조종관과 자동차 핸들 사이에는 차이점이 있습니다. 바로 앞뒤로 밀 수 있다는 거죠. 조종관으로 항공기 후방의 엘리베이터를 제어하고 상승하거나 하강할 수 있습니다. 조종관을 당길 때 수평 안정판을 살펴보십시오. 엘리베이터의 움직임이 보일 겁니다. 잘했어요. 발미되는 러더 페달이 있습니다. 두 개의 러더 페달로 비행 중지 상태에서 항공기의 방향을 바꿀 수 있습니다. 페달의 윗부분으로 제동장치도 제어할 수 있죠. 한편 공중에서는 수직꼬리 날개에 달린 러더를 제어해 항공기의 요를 조정합니다. 주로 미세 조정을 통해 선회를 조정하거나 이륙 및 상승 도중 비행기가 왼쪽으로 쏠리는 현상을 완화할 수 있죠. 러더에 미치는 영향을 확인하려면 페달을 움직이며 수직꼬리 날개를 살펴보십시오. 잘했습니다. 마지막으로 스로틀은 조종실의 중앙 근처에 있습니다. 스로틀을 앞으로 밀면 동력이 증가하고 뒤로 당기면 감소합니다. 우선 스로틀을 보고 선택하십시오. 스로틀을 선택한 채 앞으로 밀어 동력을 높이세요. 동력이 증가했습니다. 이제 뒤로 당겨 동력을 줄여줍니다. 동력이 감소했습니다. 이제 스로틀을 직접 선택하지 않고 조정해 보겠습니다. 스로틀을 선택 해제하세요. 스로틀에서 손을 떼고 동력을 높이십시오. 스로틀을 공회전 상태로 두십시오. 훌륭합니다. 엔진이 작동하는 동안 RPM 지시계에서 동력의 변화를 살펴볼 수 있습니다. 왼쪽 상단 모서리에 있는 PFD 화면에서 찾을 수 있습니다. 엔진이 분당 수백 번 단위로 얼마나 빨리 회전하는지 파악할 수 있습니다. 다음으로 대기속도 지시계에서 현재 속도를 확인하겠습니다. PFD 화면의 왼쪽에 있습니다. 측정은 노트 단위로 합니다. 고도를 확인하려면 고도계를 살펴보십시오. PFD 화면의 오른쪽에 있습니다. 모든 항공기가 이렇게 정보를 표시하는 스크린을 보유하고 있지는 않습니다. 사실 대부분의 항공기는 아날로그 계기를 보유하고 있습니다. 스로틀 바로 위에 대기속도 지시계와 고도계의 아날로그 판을 찾을 수 있습니다. 각각 왼쪽과 오른쪽에 있습니다. 고도계엔 시계처럼 3개의 바늘이 있습니다. 길고 두꺼운 바늘은 고도를 100피트 간격으로, 짧고 두꺼운 바늘은 고도를 1000피트 간격으로, 길고 얇은 바늘은 고도를 10,000피트 간격으로 계산하죠. 오늘 교습은 여기까지입니다. 다음에는 공중에서 비행에 대해 감을 잡아봅시다. To help demonstrate pitch, I've drawn 3 lines on the windshield. Notice how the middle line matches the horizon while we're flying level? This is the cruise attitude. The lower dotted line is the climb attitude, and the upper one is the descent attitude. Let's dig deeper into what that means. Pull back gently on the yoke until the climb attitude line matches the horizon. Then maintain that attitude. According to your altimeter, we're gaining altitude. But we're losing airspeed, proving you can't avoid basic physics while making a climb. That's good. Keep working on it, you'll get better. Now, let's level back out. Our speed is increasing and our altitude is stable. That's good. That's okay. Push gently on the yoke until the descent attitude line matches the horizon. Then maintain that attitude. As expected, with a nose-down attitude, our altitude is decreasing while our speed is picking up. That's good. Keep working on it, you'll get better. Okay, bring us back to level flight. Now your speed is decreasing and your altitude is stable. Nice. That's good. That's okay. Try to make only small adjustments to your pitch to avoid overcorrection. For this lesson, we're going to use a line drawn on the windshield to indicate the cruise attitude. I've also added another dotted line to help you bank properly for left turns. Gently move the yoke to the left until the dotted line matches up with the horizon. Then maintain that bank. Go ahead. Turn the yoke gently toward the left. Keep working on it, you'll get better. Watch your altitude. It wasn't constant during the turn. Now, let's see you level back out. All right. For the next step, turning to the right, let's see how you do on your own without any markings. You can see a series of notches representing 10-degree increments on the attitude indicator part of your PFD. As a general rule, you always want to keep your turns under 30 degrees. Start banking right until you're lined up with the second notch to the right on the attitude indicator. Then, maintain that 20-degree bank while remaining at the same altitude until I ask you to stop. Keep working on it, you'll get better. Keep working to maintain a constant altitude during the turn. Level us back out now. Great. Small corrections on the yoke will lead to more accurate turns. Let's talk about the throttle. If you have the need for speed, then the throttle's for you. Full control over the power output of the engine. In the Cessna 172, that relates directly to the RPM displayed on the tachometer on the PFD. Pull back on the throttle to reduce RPM to 1800. Look how your speed and altitude are also decreasing. That's okay. Okay, let's throttle back up to 2,400 RPM.
Stall.
Push the throttle to reach. Your speed is increasing now. As long as you maintain the same attitude, your altitude will keep climbing as well. That's good. I think a bit more practice may be a good idea. The art of maneuvering a plane through the air isn't a mystery to you anymore. Now it's time to test the skills you've learned. As you can see, we're cruising at 6,000 feet on a north heading of 360 degrees. Start by descending to 5,500 feet while maintaining a northerly heading. While descending, reduce throttle to avoid overspeed. While descending, reduce throttle to avoid overspeed. That's good. Now, climb to 6,000 feet and turn to a south heading. On the Cessna 172, you need full power to climb effectively.
Stall.
You put your plane in a dangerous situation. Now, climb to 6,000 feet and turn to a south heading. On the Cessna 172, you need full power to climb effectively. but try to climb faster in the future. Alright, next exercise. Maintain your heading of 180 degrees, stay at 6,000 feet, and adjust your airspeed to 80 knots. All right. That was excellent. Hello. Today we're going to go over all the steps that precede turning on your engine. Those steps are essential to ensure your aircraft's integrity and that everything is in order for a smooth and seamless flight. First of all, stretch your legs a bit and take a look at your aircraft and your surroundings. We never took much time to look at our aircraft from the outside, so take your time if you want to inspect it. You might have noticed some extra bits on your aircraft. These are the covers and chocks. Covers are installed when the plane is not in use and are meant to avoid damaging its sensitive parts. Chocks are there to immobilize the aircraft. You'll need to remove them before takeoff. And we're done for the outside. Now that we're sure your aircraft is functional and ready to taxi, let's check the inside. Let's get to the matter at hand. You've been given an EFB, also referred to as an electronic flight bag. It's a tablet that stores critical flight information and is the ideal tool to prepare your flight plans and enhance your piloting experience. Open it and take a look. Feel free to follow a quick guided tour of its features. The EFB features an interactive map, a flight plan editor, aircraft and current flight information, a nav log as well as fuel and payload options. The EFB has plenty to offer, but if you want to get directly into the action, you can turn it off after you finish the quick tour. It seems like we're all clear on the checklist. Now start this pretty bird up. Now that we've covered all the preparations, let's get to the good stuff, shall we? Let's take a moment to talk about taxiing. Taxiing refers to moving the aircraft on the ground under its own power. In particular, getting from the ramp out to the hold short point on the edge of the runway. Steering on the ground is managed through the rudder pedals. That's right, unlike driving a car, we turn by using our feet. Okay, ready? With the throttle idle, release your parking brake. Next time, make sure your throttle is at idle before releasing the parking brake. Now, gently increase throttle to get the aircraft. Unfortunately, one of your wheels crossed out of the taxiway. Now, gently increase throttle to get the aircraft moving. All right. Use your rudder pedal to turn left and enter the taxiway. Increase throttle to gain forward momentum and then reduce RPM accordingly to match a fast walking speed while taxiing. Now, test the brakes. Watch your speed. Unfortunately, one of your wheels crossed out of the taxiway. Now, test the brakes. Good. Brakes checked. Taxi to the next exit, then come to a stop. Remember to control your speed with throttle and brakes. See the crossing in front of us. Stop before it, as if traffic was coming off the runway. Watch your speed. All right, taxi to holding point Alpha 1 next. It's at the far end of the airport, near the head of runway 21. Stay as close as possible to the taxiway center, marked by the yellow line, and watch your speed. Watch your speed. Watch your speed. Watch your speed. After the right turn, come to a stop before the hold short point, in prep for takeoff. Watch your speed. Unfortunately, one of your wheels crossed out of the taxiway. All right, taxi to holding point Alpha 1 next. It's at the far end of the airport, near the head of runway 21. Stay as close as possible to the taxiway center, marked by the yellow line, and watch your speed. Watch your speed. Watch your speed. Watch your speed. After the right turn, come to a stop before the hold short point, in prep for takeoff. Watch your speed. Remain on the taxiway centerline. You don't want to risk damaging the aircraft. The next challenge will be to keep the aircraft under control while at full throttle for takeoff. There's an old saying I like, a mile of road will take you a mile. A mile of runway will take you anywhere. Taking off isn't hard, but there are a few key points to remember. First, we always take off into the wind, which won't be an issue on a calm day like today. Second, before we enter a runway, we always make sure it's clear. Check to the right to see if a vehicle is on the runway, and to the left to make sure no other planes are approaching. Runway numbers are not arbitrary. Each number matches the first two numbers of the runway's compass bearing, rounded to the nearest 10 degrees. For example, a runway orientated towards the north would be numbered 36, which is 360 degrees on a compass. Everything looks good, no cross traffic. Go ahead and taxi into position. Now slowly taxi onto the runway and align the plane with the center line. Then stop your plane just after the number 21. Not bad. All right, let's do this. Apply full power, and I'll walk you through the takeoff as we go. Use your rudder to stay on the center line, and keep pushing power until you reach 55 knots. Gently pull back on the yoke. And we're airborne.
Don't sink, don't sink.
Line up the top of your instrument panel so it's a couple of inches above the horizon. That'll pitch us up and set a good climb attitude. Maintain 75 knots and we'll reach our target altitude of 5,500 feet in no time. Focus on flying straight. Use your rudders to remove the left yaw plane as when climbing. You can see your current yaw input by looking at the MFD's slip skid indicator. Maintain 75 knots and climb to 5,500 feet. Okay, 5,500 feet. You've reached your target altitude. Good job. For this landing exercise, I want you to focus on the yoke only. We're close enough to the runway to land safely without adding any throttle. Maintain a speed of around 65 knots. Pitch down if you're going too slow. Pitch up if you're too fast. Keep your airspeed at 65 knots. When you're 10 feet above the runway, it's time to flare. To flare means to raise the nose of the aircraft to slow your descent for a softer landing, but without ever leveling off or climbing. The main landing gear will touch down before the nose wheel does. We're coming up on flare height. Resist the temptation to pull back. Now, focus on the end of the runway and pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it. Nice. Now, apply the brakes progressively to slow us down and bring the plane to a stop. Use rudder pedals to stay on the center line. Well done, but there's room for improvement. Keep in mind that approaching the runway at the right speed is key to a good landing. In the first part of this landing exercise, I want you to stay on the glide path by using the throttle. You can make small corrections with the yoke to stay aligned with the runway. Smooth action on the throttle is key for remaining on the correct glide path. If you find yourself too high, reduce your power. If you're too low, increase it. Remember though, always make soft corrections. You don't want to overcompensate. Now you can use the elevator to land. Reduce throttle to idle. Now, focus on the end of the runway and pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it. Nice. Now, apply the brakes to slow us down and bring the plane to a stop. That was excellent. My first instructor used to say, the best part of flying is landing in one piece. Today, you're in charge of bringing us in for a safe landing. And I've already set us up in landing configuration at 65 knots with 20 degrees of flaps. Keep your aim point on the runway threshold. When you're 10 feet above the runway, it's time to flare. Reduce throttle to idle. My first instructor used to say, the best part of flying is landing in one piece. Today, you're in charge of bringing us in for a safe landing. And I've already set us up in landing configuration at 65 knots with 20 degrees of flaps. Keep your aim point on the runway threshold. When you're 10 feet above the runway, it's time to flare. reduce throttle to idle. Now, focus on the end of the runway and pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it. Nice. Now, apply the brakes progressively to slow us down and bring the plane to a stop. Use rudder pedals to stay on the center line. You did well, but you can do better. Keep in mind that approaching the runway at the right speed is key to a good landing. Okay, we're currently flying on the downwind leg, at the standard traffic pattern altitude of 6,000 feet. It's a flight path parallel to the landing runway, but in the opposite direction. In downwind, you want to start preparing for landing. That means setting your speed and flaps configuration. We are passing the end of the runway, so go ahead and reduce RPM to 1700. It will help you to slow you down to 80 knots and begin your descent. The flaps provide extra lift at the expense of additional drag. This extra lift allows flying at a lower airspeed. Flaps allow for smoother and shorter landings. Go ahead and extend 10 degrees of flaps, all while maintaining current speed. Turn to the base leg when the end of the runway is at a 45-degree angle behind us. Turn left onto the base leg. Try to keep our speed around 75 knots. Keep an eye on the runway as we get ready for our final turn. Turn left onto final. Keep a stabilized approach with 65 knots airspeed and prepare for landing. Use throttle and flaps as required to adjust the glide slope.
Stall. Stall. Stall.
You need to stay in the pattern for the sake of this exercise. Keep a stabilized approach with 65 knots airspeed and prepare for landing. Use throttle and flaps as required to adjust the glide slope.
Stall. 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 Stall.
Keep a stabilized approach with 65 knots airspeed and prepare for landing. Use throttle and flaps as required to adjust the glide slope.
Don't sink, don't sink, don't sink, don't sink, don't sink.
500. Stall.
Apply the brakes and stop the plane. You followed the traffic pattern well. Good job. It's time. Your first solo flight. I'll be watching from the ground, in radio contact if you need me, but something tells me you won't. Your goal is to complete Sedona's left-hand traffic pattern on your own. Remember everything we covered in our previous sessions, and you'll be just fine. Good luck. See you on the other side.
don't sink, 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 don't
Stall.
sink,
Stall. 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 Stall.
don't sink, don't sink,
Stall. Stall.
don't sink, don't
Stall.
sink.
Stall.
Don't sink, don't sink, don't sink, don't sink, don't sink,
500.
don't sink, 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 don't sink.
I think a bit more practice may be a good idea. You're on your way to becoming one hell of a pilot.
It's time. Your first EverCheck ride. Start by removing the covers and chocks. Then join me inside. Your goal is to complete a left-hand traffic pattern, respecting the flight path and all required speeds. Rely on what you have learned in your trainings, and you'll be fine. Now, show me the best traffic pattern that you've got.
Romeo Kilo, Romeo November traffic Cessna, Hotel, Lima 6729er, is taxiing to runway 28. Romeo Kilo Romeo November traffic Cessna, Hotel, Lima 6729er, taking off runway 28 left, closed traffic.
Don't sink, don't sink.
Romeo Kilo Romeo November traffic Cessna, Hotel, Lima 6729er, 1 mile south 1,400 feet inbound to land runway 28.
$500.
Romeo Kilo Romeo November traffic Cessna, Hotel, Lima 6729er, is on final runway 28 to land. Romeo Kilo Romeo November traffic Cessna, Hotel Lima 6729er is taxiing to parking.
Congratulations. You're on your way to become one hell of a pilot.
Congratulations on passing your PPL exam. Hopefully that's the first of many steps on your career path. As you can see, the career journey of a pilot can take many different paths. As I said earlier, your PPL is the first step, allowing you to fly recreationally and perform first flight missions, taking people on tours around the local area. As you build up your flight hours and earn more certifications, other specializations will become available. Take a look around, then when you're ready, head to the missions list to see what's available. On this map, you can see all the missions currently available to you. There's one mission currently available. Select it now.
TOS system test. Okay.
G-High initiate boarding.
Well noted.
Looks like a perfect day for flying, Captain. Captain, please welcome aboard Senghan and his girlfriend. He lives around and has been dreaming of exploring the region for a while. If the seatbelts are fastened, you're ready for takeoff. Engine started. Let's go!
Romeo Kilo Romeo November traffic Cessna, Hotel Lima 8118 is taxiing to runway 10.
Hi, Captain. I'm Senghan. Can't wait to be looking down at my hometown.
Hey, I'm Diyang, Senghan's girlfriend. Pleasure to meet you.
Romeo Kilo,
It's a bit
Romeo
scary,
November traffic
but still
Cessna,
exciting.
Hotel,
Mostly
Lima
exciting.
8118, taking off runway 10 north departure.
Hey, this is something else.
Don't sink, don't sink, don't sink.
You okay? Not scared?
What's that weird jolt? Are we going down?
We used to come here often back in the days. Legendary.
Good old times.
Relax, Sang-hun. You're gripping the seat so hard you're going to break your hand.
Hey, now the city. Never expected to see all this.
Everything down below looks so tiny.
Still pretty bumpy. I wish we had more time to enjoy the view. It goes by too quickly.
Stall. 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 Stall.
Everything I see makes a great photo.
Don't sink.
Can't wait to show my photos with everyone at the club.
Romeo Kilo Romeo November
There's so
traffic
much
Cessna,
shadow.
Hotel, Lima 8118, 3 miles
Back to the
northeast,
airport already,
1,400
guys.
feet inbound to land
So,
runway 10.
Senghan, you want to fly
It's
again?
quite a revelation. What a thrill. I absolutely love the view flying over Suwon. Ready to head out again whenever you are.
You made our day, Captain.
Captain, can you smooth out the ride? just like a roller coaster.
Romeo Kilo, Romeo November Traffic Cessna, Hotel, Lima 8118 is taxiing to parking.
Always cool to see your own region from a new perspective. Looks like they enjoyed it. That was a great flight seeing session. Cool.
Nice work. Continue building your flight.